What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today we're talking about my new dog and my thoughts on the Blue Giant movie and the Fiona and Cake Adventure Time series. So, it's been a little minute, just a couple weeks. Shout out to the homie Gooch for hitting your boy up, being like, "Yo, man, ain't been a new episode in a couple weeks. You alright? You alive out there?" So, life has been lifing, but I'll get to that in a second. Because as always, if this is your first time here, then welcome. But if you're a returning listener and or watcher, then welcome back. Y'all know here at Daddy's to Talk, it's a conversational show all about fatherhood and family, manga, anime, and gaming. So, like I said, it's been a couple of weeks, which it's kind of funny for me to say that because something that I was doing months ago in preparation of moments where I needed to take a break or life got busy or whatever was I was recording stuff that was kind of standalone, like, different manga, anime, TV show, movie reviews or whatever, to where, like, you know what, if I need to be off a week, I can just upload this or whatever. But instead, I uploaded nothing for the last 2 weeks, or not even upload, because all the stuff is already uploaded. I just needed to hit public, make them all public, whatever. But it is what it is. Life happened. But I hope everybody out there has been doing well. Life has been treating you well. Hope you're safe, healthy, all that fun stuff. I know it's a lot of crazy things going on out there in the world. So I hope that you are happy and safe wherever you are. So, like I said, for myself, it's just been a very busy last couple of weeks, and I'm gonna continue to be busy for the weeks coming. But I told myself, like, for sure today, if I didn't record tonight, then it'd probably be a little while longer, because aside from just work and life being busy, also freaking Spider-Man 2 and Mario Wonder, if I can get my Switch to turn on, Mario Wonder are both coming out this week, and I already have Mario Wonder pre-installed on my Switch, and I already have Spider-Man 2 preloaded on my PS5 because I made an executive decision to treat myself, because, like I said, like right now at work, for those of you who don't know or forgot or whatever, I work in IT, specifically in the medical field. So I do a lot of the hardware and computer preparation for all of the clinics and urgent cares across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And there's about 300 something clinics and about a dozen or two urgent cares. So it's hundreds and hundreds of devices and stuff that I'm constantly prepping. And so in a couple of weeks, we have uh, 5 to 6 new clinics that we got to get set up, and a few of them are some of the biggest ones we've done in a while. So some of them have like 50 to 60 computers a piece. So I think collectively, I think I have to get like 150 or 160 all-in-one computers prepped by end of next week. So about 7 days from now, 9 days. So a lot of work ahead of me. And so I was like, you know what? I don't treat myself enough, so I'm gonna treat myself now. And so I went ahead and I bought. At first I was planning on going to GameStop and getting, pre-ordering them physically, and then picking them up after work Friday or whatever. And then, just out of curiosity, I took a look at my Switch or whatever, because Vash had it, I think, last time he was at his grandmother's or something, or whatever. Because I was like, you know what, I got an old Switch game I haven't played really much that I might maybe trade in or whatever. Popped open the top of my Switch, the cartridge is missing, and I'm like, ain't no telling where that thing is. And so I was like, you know what, I don't want to run the risk, especially of like Mario, the new Mario game coming up missing. So I was like, you know what? I'll just buy it digitally, so it's just always just on the Switch. So if Vash takes it with him somewhere or whatever, I ain't got to worry about it coming up missing or none of the cousins taking games and all that stuff, whatever. So I went ahead and did that, and like I said, just did the same thing for Spider-Man 2. So little treats to myself, and then more than likely, I think in a few weeks, once we kind of get past all of these crazy um things, whatever at work, I'm probably gonna put in some PTO and take a few days, if not like a full week off or whatever, and just have some Robert chill time to catch up on rest and stuff, whatever. Because something that I realized lately was that I took a day off a couple Fridays ago, but it was just kind of like a reminder that like I don't consistently get good quality sleep enough to where sometimes I have to take a day off of work. I just use PTO just to catch up on rest because, life, family, pets, and stuff, whatever. And so, like, I don't really get consistently good sleep, which, that just domino effects on my mind, body, etc., etc. And so I'm like, man, this kind of sucks if, like, every time I take a day off or whatever, I'm just sleeping it away just to make up for, because it's like, okay, hey, I take a day off when I didn't take the Monday off when the kids were out of school. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go to work while y'all are home. But it's like, oh, Friday, business as usual. All the kids gone to school, wife out working. Hey, I'll take the day off so I can just be home by myself. But yeah, so got those games coming out or whatever, and I was like, I need to get something recorded before them or whatever. Which of course I'll talk about them in future episodes and stuff when I get back around to it. But yeah, and so like I said, big new thing that happened is we got a dog. And those of y'all watching the video version of the podcast over on YouTube, y'all can see a picture of her. Her name is Luna. She is, I guess, 12 weeks old now because we've had her for 2 weeks. So she's a 12-week-old Australian Shepherd puppy. Very cute. But just being honest, this is not in the card. So just being real, your boy was not happy when when my wife came home from a trip with the kids and stuff, whatever, with the dog. Because I think, if I remember correctly, I think that they had spent the night out at her sister's or something or whatever, because it was like a homecoming game, football game back at her old school, what I don't remember. But anyway, so she was gone. It was like a holiday weekend or whatever for the kids. And so when they were coming back that Sunday, she called to let me know, like, hey, she's bringing back, it was like one of the nieces and nephews. I'm like, whatever, cool. It's kind of like, because I'm like, this is my weekend to chill. But I'm like, it is what it is, a couple more kids, whatever. So then she walks in the door, and she has like, I'm gonna use this shirt as an example. So she kind of had like a blanket over her shoulder or whatever, and I'm thinking it was like one of the kids, like one of the nieces or nephews, on her shoulder or whatever. I'm laying in bed. She walks in the room. All the kids pour into my room. They're all smiling, giggling or whatever. I'm like, what? And she takes it off, and I see something fluffy, and I'm like, what is that? And the kid's like, we got a puppy. Somebody gave mommy a puppy. And like I said, this is Robert in super tired mode. So, not in the best of moods. And so I am just laying there looking puzzled. And then I'm just like, everybody but mommy out the room. And yeah, so I went off for a good little while, whatever. But of course, the dog Luna, she hopped into bed and began snuggling up next to me, whatever, trying to win me over. And I'm like, Lord. And then a little bit later on, we all went outside walking around or whatever, like kind of get used to things, whatever. And that's where this one picture of her by my feet where I was standing or whatever, and she was like running with the kids, and she came running by next to me, and just like plopped down, and so I'm like, okay, but I made it very clear. I was like, hey, to the kids, I'm like, hey, y'all, if y'all want the dog, y'all are going to be responsible for, feeding and water and cleaning up and walks and all that stuff, whatever. I said, because that's not going to be on me. Now, I will help. I'm not going to leave y'all high and dry, but, so we kind of had to lay some ground rules or whatever. So, but yeah, because it was just like, I think my wife said it was just like some guy and kind of like in the neighborhood or whatever, when they came back home, they were just giving her away for free. Had the paperwork and everything, whatever, shot records, all that stuff, whatever. So it was all cool and legit. But I was like, okay, cool. So hey, free dog. but uh, but yeah. So and it's been kind of a learning curve. Of course, she's already chewed up a couple of things here and there that the kids have left laying around. But overall, she's a cool dog, and everybody she meets loves her. Like all the kids outside when they in the neighborhood or whatever love her. When my wife took her with her to her sister's house and to her mom's house, whatever, over the weekend, people trying to keep her, but like, hey, if y'all end up, not wanting her, or whatever, hey, I'll take her, whatever. So we immediately getting offers and stuff for the dog. So, but yeah, so we got Luna. She's part of the family now. So 5 kids, a cat, and a dog. That is my life as a dad. But but yeah, so that happened. Though she briefly for like a couple of hours, she was temporarily named Luffy. My middle son, who I've had on the show before, that he's the one that watches anime and stuff, whatever, out of the bunch, or heavily watches it, I should say. And so he the one that had suggested the name Luffy, and I'm like, wow. On one hand, I appreciate it, but the other part of me was like, I can't name a girl dog Luffy, just on some principle. I was like, man, if it was a boy, maybe, but I was like, nah, we gotta find a different name or whatever. So yeah, so we ended up coming to the consensus on Luna, which kind of matches up because on the back of her head, she has like a white patch of fur that's kind of like over like the middle of the back of her head down like her back, and it kind of like curves a little bit. So kind of like a maybe like a semi moon ish looking design or whatever. So, but anyway, so yeah, so new dog, yay. But like I said, we're trying to make it work and stuff, whatever. We're gonna trying to get her trained and stuff, whatever. So, but yeah, so yeah, so like I said, kind of wanted just to touch on a few things. I'm not gonna go hopefully too long today, whatever, because I am tired and I'm running off of NyQuil and a Hershey Kiss. um, and stuff. But yeah, so I've gotten a chance to kind of watch some pretty interesting stuff lately that I kind of wanted to share and talk about. There is something in particular that I'm gonna mention, but I probably will do like a separate thing for when I get to it in a little bit. But let me see real quick. Um, yeah, so I guess very briefly, I guess I'll just get some quick like game stuff out the way or whatever really quickly or whatever before I dive into the main topic with the shows and movies or whatever. But gaming wise, I on a whim randomly I had started playing Final Fantasy VII Remake last week or whatever, and I made it to chapter 4 so far. I don't know. I was just kind of just sitting around the house and just kind of like thinking like, man, I wasn't like in the mood to like watch or read nothing or whatever, and so I'm kind of just like scrolling through all the games I got or whatever, and I was like, let me look through my PlayStation Plus catalog, like stuff like games that I've gotten for free through the subscription or whatever over the years, and Final Fantasy VII Remake was there, and I was like, after seeing like some little bit of stuff for the next one, Rebirth, that's coming in January, I was like, you know what? I've never really gotten into or really played a Final Fantasy game or whatever. Shout out to my friend Bree. That's because I've got to where watching her play. I think it was 13 back when we were in college and stuff. But I've never really played it myself, and so I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's give it a shot. And I gotta say, like, though that like opening hour or so, whatever, super strong from like a visual presentation standpoint to just like the funness of just like the combat and using the spells and stuff, whatever. It was super dope. I cannot lie. I was like immediately hooked. I was like, yo. But then things slow down when you kind of get to like the town, and you're kind of like doing like random little side missions and stuff, whatever. That part I didn't really like because I'm like, man, because like the like the visual quality and stuff was kind of like down a bit or whatever. But everything outside of that little town, hub town thing, whatever, was super dope. Like I love just like walking through the streets after y'all blow up that first kind of reactor thing, whatever, and navigating all that stuff. Like I don't know, it was really dope. I think I made a note. I've made it to I think chapter 4 so far. So I started up the next kind of mission. So I just did like a high speed motorcycle chase thing, or whatever. So, but yeah, so that's when I kind of hope I can maybe kind of like keep chipping away at in the background or whatever. But yeah, I was like pleasantly surprised like how much I was enjoying playing it or whatever. So yeah, so shout out to Final Fantasy VII Remake, super dope. One of the things I just want to shout out to him in honor of Spider-Man 2 coming out in a couple of days. Um, I had re-downloaded Miles Morales on my PS5 just because I was like, you know what, I just want to swing around, just move around with it, just get like a little bit of feel with the controller again, being in this world and stuff. And so I was sitting there playing through it or whatever, or just kind of really just swinging around. And then Vash was sitting next to me, watching me or whatever, and I was like, you know what? Hey, do you want to try? And he was like, yeah. And so I gave him the controller or whatever, and was showing him like he started off with doing like it's a L2 or an R2 that lets you kind of like zip to a light pole or something to perch upon or whatever. And so he learned that, so he was just kind of just like zipping around from point to point, just like he would like zip around, sit, zip around, sit. And then eventually I kind of started teaching him a little bit of like, okay, hey, this is how you do fight bad guys and actually like fully swinging through the city or whatever. So that was just a very fun thing just to kind of share and do with him, because something something that kind of came to mind just with this combination of Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Brothers Wonder coming out. It made me think about like my connection with my son Vash and those two series, because and I've talked about it before, especially on that episode I think I did of the parents Ragnarok, my God of War Ragnarok fatherhood thing I did or whatever. But basically, um, in the days and weeks leading up to Vash being born in 2017, that was when the trifecta of Assassin's Creed Origins, Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus, and Mario Odyssey all came out on the same day or like that same day or whatever. And so I remember me and my wife were playing through Mario Odyssey in the hospital when she was, waiting to give birth and stuff, whatever. And then like those early days and weeks and months of Vash being born, us playing Mario Odyssey and stuff. And then the following year, when Vash was about 1 or about to turn 1, Spider-Man 2018 came out. And then Miles Morales and the PS5 launch happened when Vash was 3. And so now here we are with Vash about to be 6 in a couple of months. Or shoot, actually in a few weeks. In a few weeks or whatever, now we have both Spider-Man 2 and Mario Wonder. and I'm excited for both, especially for Mario Wonder, and also a side shout out to Sonic Superstars, but with Mario Wonder, being able to play co-op with him and stuff, whatever. I think that'd be super dope, because he's been loving having fun. Me playing co-op with him as we've been playing through Sackboy's Big Adventure still. We been doing like the big boss fights and different challenges and stuff. So it's been like super dope and just awesome gaming and father and son memories I'm building and having with him. So that's kind of like another very dope connection with those two series that I have with my son over the course of from his birth through his now about to be 6 or whatever. So very, very dope. Like I said, I look forward to playing, hopefully dabbling in both of these over the next few days. But yeah, and I guess just some quick news things I just wanted to shout out or whatever. Because speaking of Mario, they revealed the new voice actor for Mario. I think his name is Kevin Afghani. So they officially announced that he is going to be the new voice for Mario and Luigi, at least in Mario Wonder. So I thought that was just very dope to kind of like see, okay, the passing of the torch to this new person who's going to potentially carry this franchise forward. So shout out to him. And just a couple other just quick things, whatever. Finally, after things been like over a year, maybe 2 years, the deal is done. Xbox slash Microsoft now fully owns ABK, Activision Blizzard King. And so, a lot of people are like, okay, finally. Just because, there's been so many, news stories and stuff over the years and all this stuff, man. So it's kind of nice to finally have all of this stuff just kind of put behind us finally. Let me see. So yeah, so now, Call of Duty and Diablo and World of Warcraft and Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and StarCraft, Candy Crush, Overwatch, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, all that stuff is now under the or now all in the Xbox Microsoft family. So, which would be very interesting to see how this all does going forward. But so the deal is done. So we'll see where things kind of go from here. But like I said, just wanted just to mention that in passing, whatever. And the last thing in passing I just want to mention is that they've revealed finally, after it's been rumored for over a year now, the pretty much the PlayStation 5 Slim models. So they're doing it's technically pretty much one model, but they're gonna sell it in 2 SKUs. It's still gonna be the digital one, which they're raising the price up from $400 to $449, and so now it's the box is smaller, but also it's more modular to where now they have it to where you can add in a Blu-ray drive that you can buy separately, to where if you decide to get just the digital version only at first, and then you decide later on, like, I actually do want to be able to play physical disc, you can buy this disk drive separately, whatever, slide off the bottom panel, slap on this new thing, whatever, and it becomes a physical console, whatever. And this will pretty much be the standard PS5 going forward. So once the original models that are in stores now sell out and are out of stock, then that's going to be it for the original PS5 models, and it's just going to be the slim model as the baseline going forward. Now, I don't really care about this one too much either way or whatever, but along in that same rumor that's been going on for a while that this model was coming, is that there's potentially next year maybe also going to be a PS5 Pro model, which if there is, I'll probably be picking that up or whatever, and then giving my kids my current PS5 or whatever. So because also next year we're expecting to get the successor to the Nintendo Switch, so the Switch 2, Super Switch, whatever they're going to call it. So that'll be on the horizon as well. So very exciting times as a tech and gaming hardware person. So, but yeah, so like I said, just wanted to shout out those couple of things. gaming news wise or whatever. Now, a couple things I wanted to touch on. So, and I guess kind of in a way, before I dive into these two things, whatever, kind of just like it made me think about the topic of supporting or having people with you to support your dreams, or you supporting somebody's dreams and goals and stuff. Um, just because I feel like looking back on the different things I've done over my life, whether it be personal stuff or work and career wise stuff, whatever, there's lots of people I can look back on and thank along the way that helped me get to these different places and different points I've been on or whatever. And even like with my kids and things that they're doing with their sports and stuff like that or whatever, to where I want to try to, you know, be supportive and basically provide the tools to help them try to chase their dreams and stuff, and to try to be the best they can be at whatever they want to do. Just because it's like, uh, don't know how far or how long they'll continue doing these different things or whatever, but it's like, well, hey, I don't want, if possible, when it's all said and done, regardless of if it's like, okay, hey, they only play through high school and that's it, they go to college, go pro, whatever. I hope that when they look back at me and my wife, me and their mom, as parents, that they'll be like, you know what? I was able to give it my all because of the support that my parents gave us. And so that's all that I hope for, because it's like, hey, it's like I tell my kids sometimes, I'm like, hey, y'all have so many more opportunities and tools and access to things and opportunities that a lot of people don't have. It's like, for as much as I love playing basketball and doing sports, whatever, growing up, whatever, like, I just did the bare minimum stuff at school. And granted, yes, this was, the early 2000s and stuff, whatever. And, I was in a small country town, so it's definitely not like it is now, 20 years later, living in a big city metroplex or whatever. But still, it's like, okay, I'm fortunate enough to be able to financially provide, and also being able to maneuver and go to all these different things or whatever to help put them in the best position. It's just kind of, and then from there, it's on them to put in the work and stuff to where it's like, hey, you can't say you ain't got the opportunities or whatever. Like, hey, y'all got coaches and special trainers and y'all doing special tryouts and different things or whatever. It's like, hey, y'all got the opportunities. Now it's up to y'all to go out and actually execute on the plan. So, so that kind of brings me to the first thing I wanted to touch on, which is Blue Giant. Now, let me get this pulled up. Because Blue Giant is a series that I have been wanting to check out pretty much since the time I started doing this podcast. Because every time I go in the store, I would always see those very awesome covers and volumes for the Blue Giant manga. And so I kept on saying, like, someday, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna check it out or whatever. And then last year they announced, like, hey, they're doing a Blue Giant movie. And so I'm like, okay, perfect, that would be dope. And so I almost missed it. And I almost gave up the opportunity to see it, because so this happened last weekend. And first of all, I almost forgot that it was coming out, and it sucks because they only put this movie in theaters for 2 days. It was, what was it, 2 days? It was on October 8th and 9th. And it was only, so not only was it just 2 days, but it was only one showtime, regardless of theater, per day. So it was like Sunday was 4 o'clock, no matter what theater you looked at, 4 o'clock, 4 p.m., that's it. And then the following day on that Monday, I think it was 7 p.m., if I remember correctly, regardless of wherever you look at. And so what happened was, that was the weekend I had took off that Friday on the 6th of work to kind of catch up on rest. And so I messed around and I took a nap that Sunday, and I woke up at like almost 5 o'clock, so already an hour past the showtime. And I was so sad, I was so bummed because I'm like, man, I almost missed getting a chance to buy a ticket to see this movie or whatever. Because look, I saw a random tweet that was like, hey, in theaters this weekend, 2 days only. I'm like, wait, what? So I bought my ticket or whatever, but I freaking slept through the first showing. And y'all, I was so bummed. I was so down. And then I was like, man, well, there is one more tomorrow, but I'm so freaking tired and da 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 da. And then shout out to my wife, she pushed me. She was like, no, babe, I know how much you've been wanting to go and watch this movie or whatever. Hey, I'll take care of whatever stuff around the house, whatever. You go and see your movie. And I am so happy that I took that step forward and I actually did go and see it. So now, for those of y'all at me talking all that talk who are like, Robert, what is Blue Giant? So Blue Giant is a series that follows a young man named Dai um, Miyamoto who loves playing the saxophone and loves jazz music. And it basically just kind of follows his journey in trying to become a well known jazz musician. And so I think the movie was like a little over 2 hours, I believe. And y'all, if this movie ever comes out on streaming services, I'll be championing it again. But if you have some way to go on and see the movie or whatever, to check it out, whether it be when it hopefully releases on DVD, Blu-ray, something or whatever, or like I said, going on streaming services at some point, because I did not expect this movie to hit me in my heart and my emotions the way it did, because like not since the Kids on the Slope TV series, which is also a series surrounded around music, kind of jazzy tunes or whatever, that I love to death. That shout out to Religiously Nerdy. We did an episode last summer, revisiting Kids on the Slope for its 10 year anniversary last year. But yeah, so Blue Giant, y'all, like I think I think it was a mixture of things, because it is such a relatable story of seeing this character who is going above and beyond, even if nobody else has his back, nobody else believes in him, which there were people who definitely did. But seeing him go out and practice every day, to where he would just go out into like a park, or he'll go out practice on the side of a river, under the giant, overpass bridge or whatever, and he would just play music to into the void, just to practice, just to get better, just to hone his skills. And just seeing that passion he has for his craft and for the music, it just like hit me in such a way. And of course, like I said, it's jazz music. Like, like I can't even imagine. I know some parts of reading it or whatever might hit, but man, actually being able to hear the music in this just kind of took it to a whole nother level, as well as like the just the overall production standards. Because let me see, Studio Nut was the main studio who worked on this, who also did shout out to Decadence, they did that. But Saga of Tanya the Evil, um oh, looks like that's like the main thing that they've done anime wise. But I know also one of like the producers or something from Mob Psycho 100, or directors or something from that, also worked on it. So it had like a pretty dope um, cast that worked on it, or a production crew that worked on this or whatever. But but yeah, and so it kind of just like I said, follows Dai on his journey. He ends up, you know, um, getting a drummer who is like a good friend of his, and then meeting this kind of like piano protege and stuff, and them kind of forming a band together. But certain things just happened throughout this movie that just like hit me so deeply in my core, to where like there were some moments like early on in the movie where I was kind of like tearing up a little bit, but man, there was like a moment, there like pretty much like that like final portion of the movie. I was just like damn near bawling my eyes out the whole time. Like I had to take off my glasses several times, and I'm just like, I wasn't going that hard, but I'm just like, just sniffling and stuff, whatever. Luckily, I had got some napkins with her because I had to, wipe my face down. It was hitting, hitting something fierce. But I truly loved it. And like I said, just like afterwards, I was sitting there and I was like, yo, I am so grateful that I went and saw this movie because it was one that definitely needed to be seen and needed to be experienced. So, like I said, I don't want to just go too deep into like the actual story beats or whatever, but like I said, definitely something I definitely highly recommend if you ever get a chance to check out Blue Giants. Please do, because that movie was fantastic from start to finish, and like I said, I just love seeing Die and the homies going on their journey and stuff, and I kind of love how, because I can't remember what other series was it that I had. Oh, Oshino Ko did this too, to where they kind of had like a kind of like documentary style, to where they talk to people in the present day about kind of like recounting or rethinking back to certain points in time, certain moments where being like, yeah, man, yeah, I was in the band with Die back then, and we all kind of knew, that he was going to be, something special or whatever, or or the old lady that they were kind of like practicing at her bar or whatever, she'd be like, yeah, yeah, those guys, I let them come in and practice or whatever, just to kind of give them like a safe space or whatever, and I just love seeing their growth and development and stuff, whatever. So I really loved that structure of the movie of kind of like every now and then kind of seeing somebody in the present day and then kind of reflecting on stuff from back then. And man, like that final performance that they gave. But yeah, that final performance, man, and like the whole situation surrounding that, and I gotta just say real quick, I I kind of don't want to talk about it because it's spoilers or whatever, but I guess I'll just say the big incident that happens, my jaw dropped. The theater went silent when that moment happened, and then seeing how Them moved forward with the performance and stuff, and then the encore moment, and it was like, yo, because and I felt the dude. I'm talking as vague as I can, but I felt him. So it was like, yo, things happen, but hey, I got to play because this is going to be our final performance as a group, because we know Die is about to explode. He's about to, his trajectory, career, about to go to the moon. So, hey, I want to be part of this moment, this performance. And just seeing just the passion, man, it was just so good, man. And like I said, I'm talking very vague because I want y'all, if y'all haven't gotten to see the movie, to go see it, to check it out when you can. And then come back and talk to me about this, because it's like, it was just so good. Like, it's just such a hard hitting finale, final moments, whatever, for that movie. So, but yeah, so shout out to Blue Giant. Like I said, it was truly something phenomenal, something I would definitely remember. Like I said, up there with Kids on the Slope as far as like impact and like great music anime. So, something else that I decided to check out just out of curiosity, because I loved Adventure Time back in the day. So when I heard that there was going to be a Fiona and Cake spinoff series, I was like, you know what? I'll check this out, see what this is, whatever. And this ended up being way more than I thought it would be going into it or whatever. because I'm just gonna say up front, hey, maybe I just missed it in the marketing because I do my best to try not to get overwhelmed or bogged down watching a million trailers and articles and all this stuff, whatever, for stuff that I'm interested in or whatever, just because it's like, man, like games and movies and everything spoils too much. Heck, when I was watching some of the homies Twitch streams earlier, or whatever, when the ads ran, freaking Spider-Man 2 trailers popping up, and I'm like, no, I've done good avoiding a lot of videos and stuff, whatever. Even though I've gotten spoiled on a couple of things, whatever, because I'm like, God, dog, get screenshots and then like the trailers and stuff popping up or the ads and stuff. But I didn't realize going into it that this isn't just a spinoff. This is literally a sequel series to Adventure Time, because this literally takes place after where Adventure Time ended, and you literally get to see those characters, some of them older and different situations going on or whatever. And I thought that was like super dope, because like I said, I just thought that, okay, we're just gonna follow Fiona and Cake, and there might be like some references or something or whatever to it, but hey, this is just gonna be its own separate thing. It's like, no, this is fully tied into Adventure Time. We freaking see older Finn and Jake and all these different things, and we even see those the two characters that we saw at the end of Adventure Time, whatever, where they kind of like time skipped forward, and the kind of like rabbit looking kid or whatever. So, but yeah, so that was super dope. And like I said, I don't have like too much in depth stuff to say about this, whatever, because like I said, if you're a fan of Adventure Time, then it's definitely something that you're going to want to watch. But like I said, I just wanted to shout it out because, like I said, this ended up being way more than, like I said, I thought it was going to be. Going into it, like I said, I just didn't know, but it was super dope. It's 8 episodes, I think, 10, 8 or 10. Let me double check. Okay, it's 10 episodes, and they're the standard 24 minutes long. Speaking of which, I think I never finished watching all of those kind of like Adventure Time and BMO spin-off specials. Or whatever. I think I watched maybe like one or two, one and a half. So I need to go back and circle back to those two, whatever. But it just felt so cool being back in this world with these characters and stuff, whatever, and just seeing them go even deeper with the story and the lore of Ooh and all this other stuff, whatever. Because I've talked about it before how Adventure Time at first, and for a good chunk of it, I feel like it was just, or it seemed like just a bunch of, random adventures and wacky hijinks or whatever going on. And then they started sprinkling and then more frequently having actual story beats and connecting moments and connecting episodes and stuff, whatever. So it's like, oh, wait. Okay, we continuing the plot from last episode. It's not just, some random adventure and then on to another thing. Next episode, it was like, no, these episodes are literally connected. Hey, this one ended on a cliffhanger. Next episode, picking up from there, whatever. So, but yeah, so Fiona and Cake, highly recommend you or y'all check it out. Last thing or show I kind of want to shout out real quick. So, a couple things I just like to just quick shout out in passing, whatever. Gen V, yo. Yo, that show is insane. So for those who don't know, Gen V is the kind of spin-off series from The Boys that's on Amazon Prime. Now, from what I understand, this show, right, at least right now, takes place between what happened at the end of the previous season of The Boys and then the upcoming, so I guess third and fourth season between them, if I'm remembering correctly. But y'all, Gen V, that like I I already suspected that things were gonna be wild, just because of, hey, it's like The Boys, But man, I the way this show kicks off, and I guess pretty much it's kind of set in like a college setting to where these are kind of like young and upcoming potential heroes and stuff, whatever. And so, but man, just like out the gate, like within like the first like 3 minutes or less, my jaw was on the floor because of how this main girl, how she learned that she had powers was absolutely this. I feel like this is probably crazier than when A Train ran through that girl in the first episode of The Boys in season 1, because I feel like after all the stuff I've seen in all the seasons of The Boys, the fact that this moment with this girl's powers revealed um still made me gasp and my jaw drop. I was like, okay, yeah, they still got it. And it's been like crazy moments like that the whole way through. So like I said, just wanted to shout that out really quickly. But yeah, so Gen V, check that out. Like I said, especially if you like The Boys, it is a must watch. Now, this next show is the one I said I'm gonna do a separate thing for eventually, but just want to shout it out. It's called Mayor of Kingstown. Now, I had never really heard of this show, probably because it's on Paramount Plus. But this show. So, one of the main characters is Jeremy Renner, aka Hawkeye from Marvel, and um Aidan Gillian, who plays Milo, who a lot of y'all might know as Littlefinger in Game of Thrones. So if you know what type of time he on in Game of Thrones, imagine him being basically kind of like a big uh kind of like gang affiliated mafia boss that runs things from prison. So pretty much Jeremy Renner's character is this guy who is kind of like the unofficial official mayor of the town of Kingstown, because even though he's not the official, political mayor, everybody kind of comes to him, both police, street thugs, people in the prison, whatever, come to him as kind of like the guy that's going to get the job done, the problem solver. And this show was like so good. Like, I pretty much gave up watching most other things, whatever, all weekend just to binge watch all 2 seasons, or both seasons, which are 20 episodes total, and they average from 40-45 minutes to an hour a piece. So I probably gave up like 15 hours of my weekend, but definitely super worth it. Like I said, I'm gonna touch on more of this in a review by itself, whatever. But man, that show is super good and definitely worth checking out. Like I said, if you like stuff kind of like in the vein of like The Wire almost, but maybe even more corrupt cop. And well, he's not even really a cop, but kind of like a corrupt dude that Jeremy Renner plays, whatever. Then hey, you definitely might want to check this out. So now, aside from that, I've still been, checking out the new anime for the for the summer, for the fall season. The NyQuil is kicking in. Checking out stuff for that season has been going good. I still need to go back and wrap up stuff for the summer, so I can talk about that as well in a future episode. And hopefully, I hope I can finally get to read this Spider-Man Fake Red manga I had picked up that I was hoping to have already read by now, but hey, life happens. But looking forward to hopefully reading it maybe tomorrow to have it up by the end of the week. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think manga wise, because I haven't really got to read too much lately. Um, Caught up on Shoujo No, but that's only like 8 to 8 chapters out right now, whatever. So caught up on that. Um, it's a lot of stuff I've been waiting for like the right move to strike to binge read because like I'm so far behind on. I talked about it before. Undead Unluck and um, shoot, what is that show called? My Home Hero. Because I saw Knox posting some screenshots of some stuff going on right now, and then I'm like, dang. Uh, Ranger Reject or Go Go Loser Ranger, man, ready to get back on that. My Hero Academia manga, turning up some crazy stuff going on, and I saw certain characters' name trending, and I'm like, oh, is that for the good or the bad? But we'll see. And One Piece going crazy as well. We are, or we pretty much just started a God Valley flashback while we at Egghead. Um, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. But we're in God Valley now, so very excited to get more flashbacks on that situation that's going on with Kuma and all that stuff. Man, real good stuff. But yeah, but I think that might be it as far as like stuff I'm gonna talk about today. Let me just double check. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for that. Yeah, I don't want to try to force any more, whatever Cox it is. The NyQuil is about to take over. I'm about to hop off of here, shower, and get my butt in the bed and unwind. But yeah, as always, thank y'all so much for watching and or listening. As always, you can find me everywhere at Danny's to Talk. Thank y'all so much for the continued support, even in my brief absence for a couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm looking forward to freaking Spider-Man and Mario Wonder. So hopefully, the next time, at least the next current podcast episode, assuming I don't release some more pre-recorded stuff, whatever, but before then. But yeah, I will be sharing thoughts on Spider-Man and Mario Wonder in the future, along with a bunch of other stuff that's going on. And like I said, I'm still planning on doing the fall recommendations episode, and then looking back on summer anime and stuff as well. So lots of stuff to talk about, lots of stuff to do. But I'm first get out of here and just end it with this as always. Treat yourself to something nice. I definitely did. Read some manga, watch some anime and TV, play some video games, and live your best life. And with that, your boy is out. Shout out to everybody that's had birthdays and anniversaries and stuff lately, whatever. I think, Polo from Mike Check just had a birthday. Three Weaves Podcast just celebrated their third year anniversary on 10/10. Shout out to them. Shout out to everybody in the community that continues to rock with your boy and stuff. So, but yeah, so this dad is tired, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. Peace.